Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is my Wargamers Anonymous September challenge submission. I got two World War One Scottish snipers, British snipers. So these guys are going to be part of my project for Blood and Valor, which is a World War One skirmish game that just came out, and I thought the rules looked pretty cool. I saw them actually on P. Becca's channel, and I checked them out, and they seemed kind of like an interesting set. World War One is a huge history passion of mine, history interest of mine. I've got some big family connections to World War One, as I think a lot of people do. A bunch of my great grandparents fought in that war in the United States Army and also in the British Army. And World War One is one of those topics. I took a couple college courses related to World War One. Really have read a ton about it, so I was really excited to kind of do a World War One project. Part of me kind of wishes I did World War Two, just because there's so many more directions to take the units. But World War One just has this character to it that I find totally fascinating. So, these snipers are going to be part of my sort of British platoon. I kind of wanted to go for a Scottish Highland kind of feel to the units. These guys are Woodbine Design Company. And I initially bought quite a few of these Woodbine figures, but I kind of decided that I'm only really going to use the kneeling figures. And I got the machine gun and stuff, so I'm only going to use the kneeling figures and the machine gun, just because they are really small figures. So the guys who are kneeling, you can't really tell how small they are. They don't look too bad. But here's the test figure I did to kind of work out my color scheme. I still don't know exactly what I'm going to do for the helmet color. They're kind of a much darker green. I'm going to kind of play around with getting that real dark green. But I found a color for the uniforms that I really like. But these guys are small. Even I put these guys on a 3mm base. Even on the 3mm base, they look really small compared to what I got for my Germans. I got the Wargames Atlantic World War I Germans, which you can see in the background. I'll do a video on them once I actually have my whole platoon painted up. I'm doing kind of late war armies, 1918. I'm kind of thinking the Kaiserschlacht, Operation Michael, so that'll kind of, I won't be confined to the trenches with that operation. Kind of you can see in the background I got my command squad and two squads of riflemen, and then I still have yet to prime them, but I got two squads of stormtroopers. And I'll talk about the Germans though once I get more of them finished and based up and everything. Right now I'm waiting on another order of 2mm bases. I kind of ran out of those. So I initially was going to use these Woodbine figures, and the main attraction for me with them was that they had separate heads. So I was going to, I really wanted to do like a Scottish themed platoon. So I wanted to add, these Scottish caps on them and stuff. But the figures, they don't look too bad on the camera, but they are just really small to me. They're nicely sculpted, but they're just too small. And I bought a few of these Great War miniatures, British troops from Brigade Games, and they actually fit in really well with the Wargames Atlantic Germans. So what I ended up doing, I just put in the order yesterday actually, I just ordered a bunch more of the Great War miniatures, and I think I'm not going to bother I'm not going to bother with the Woodbine ones except for the machine gunners and the kneeling figures. And again, it's kind of a shame because I do actually like the sculpts on these guys, and so, they have some good poses, and I really like how the bombers have sacks of grenades, because that is actually what they carried. They did actually carry around big sandbags full of grenades and stuff, but they're just too small in my opinion, and they just stick out on when I compare the figures. So it was worth it for me, I think, just to buy more of these Great War guys, the Great War miniatures. And I guess these guys are a tiny bit smaller than the Wargames Atlantic, but they're kind of beefier. And what I really like actually about these Great War miniatures is they've got all this, equipment on them. This is a Lewis gunner support guy, like the second man in a Lewis gun team, and he's just like festooned with magazines. And a lot of the other troops have lots of different equipment on them and stuff. So I really like those figures. I ordered more of them, and the British platoon is going to have a bunch of rifle squads, sniper team, machine gun team, and a Highlander team. And I think this is going to be a pretty fun project. I've got terrain I'm going to be building for this. I'm not sure that I'm really going to go in for the whole, trench network for these guys, but I think I'm going to be building like a bunch of shell craters and kind of shelled forests, which look really World War I. And again, what I'm kind of thinking for this is this is going to be, Operation Michael, Kaiserschlacht battles. The trench lines have been kind of penetrated, and now they're kind of fighting, just past the trenches, I guess. So that's what I've been working on. I have been insanely busy the past couple weeks. Everything that I've been able to paint has been, I've been painting it at 5 in the morning. I have about 20 minutes. If I wake up at 5 a.m., I have like 20 minutes in which to paint, and then I've got to, do stuff, and I've been working until like literally 10:30 or even midnight some nights this week. So, this is I've got a ton of work to do still this weekend. I'm probably going to be mainly working on this weekend. Hopefully, hopefully I'm going to be able to get some more paint on the Germans. But yeah, busy times. Maybe next week I think I'll have a little more of a home life, but I have not been able to take any time for myself really during the week. The other kind of cool thing that I've had going on is this Kingmaker tournament to the strongest tournament online, and I've been having a total blast with that. They had a online tournament earlier in the spring, and now that was like a Dark Ages themed tournament. Now they're doing a Wars of the Roses themed tournament, and I've played 2 games so far. I got to play one this morning actually, which again, that was time away from, that was my time to either paint or game. So I did the gaming, and now I have to, do work instead of painting for the rest of the day. But that tournament series is really fun. I've been able to meet a lot of players, and yeah, I've lost both of my games so far, but I felt good about those games. They could have gone either way. I had some unlucky, I feel like my losses were more down to, I'm not saying I didn't make tactical errors, but, I feel like a lot of my failure has been due to kind of bad luck on the draws. Maybe that's kind of a cop-out to say that, but I think, my games were pretty close. And I've been playing against some good players as well. It's not, I shouldn't put all the, I mean, I've been playing against good players, so I don't want to take away from their, success there. If they've been playing really well, it's not just me being defeated by luck. I've been beaten by these players too. They're pretty talented. So that's it for me right now. Coming up, I guess I'm probably gonna try and get all those German riflemen and stuff done, and then I'll prime up my stormtroopers, and I'll probably, while I'm priming the stormtroopers, probably prime up some Normans as well, because I use gray for both of those. Also in the background there, you can see I've got some Aventines. Those are some pretty cool figures. I think those will paint up actually pretty fast. I'm doing a pretty simple design on those guys. Those are going to be my extraordinary who are, kind of like allied Italian peoples who kind of they were kind of like elite troops. I'm not sure what stat line I'm going to actually use for them in game, but I'm planning on kind of doing a cool diorama base for them. So that's what I've got going on. I want to do some kind of cooler videos, but right now I'm just like so like time constrained. I feel bad actually even like taking the time to make this video because I have so much to do. But hopefully, the schedule really evens out. And that's, this World War I stuff, the uniforms are kind of bland colored. They don't take super long to paint. I think they're pretty easy to paint as it goes. So my hope is really to, I just want to get these World War I platoons done, and then we're going to see what's next. My feeling is going to be musket and tomahawks, which I think it's kind of crazy that it's such a success. Like people in Britain are playing the French and Indian War. I would just never have, expected that. I'm surprised that you've even heard of it, I guess. Even if it was part of the 7 Years' War, it's such like a localized war to the United States. And, it's such a small war in many ways. But I ordered some red coats. So I think I'm going to do actually an American Revolution kind of era muskets and tomahawks. But that'll have to wait till after all this World War I stuff gets done, and I'm always painting ancients and medieval stuff on the side too. So there'll be more of that, and hopefully kind of better videos in the future, but for right now I'm like drowning as it is, so it's gonna have to be pretty simple. But I hope you like these, the sniper team. I think they came out pretty well. I like them. I just wish, the rest of the Woodbine stuff was fit in more with the other kind of World War I stuff that's out there. All right, I hope you guys take care. Have a good weekend. See you soon. I think I might try and get a post out tomorrow morning if I have the time. I'm thinking of another new segment too. I want to do some kind of book reviews on good books to, supplement your wargaming. So that's all for now. Take care. See ya.